Hi, we will talk about the characteristics of the Incoterms. My group is Nancy Carolina, Diana Milena, and me, Luis David Ramirez. Incoterms small definition are terms of three letters each that reflect their roles. Voluntary accept by both parties about the condition of delivery of goods products. 1, 2, or 3 they are used to clarify the cause of international trade transition, delimiting the responsibility between the buyer and the seller. The encounters are grouped into four categories: E, F, C, D. Term in E. The seller makes the goods available to the buyer, and the seller of permits its direct delivery and departure. Terms in F. FAEs and FOB. The seller is instructed to deliver the goods to a means of transport closed by the buyer. Indirect delivery goods payment of the main carriage. Terms in C. The seller contracts for transport but without assuming the risks of loss or damage to the goods or additional costs for events occurring after loading and dispatch. Indirectly delivered with payment of the principal sum. Terms in D. The seller bears all costs to risks involved in bringing the goods to the country of destination. Direct delivery on arrival, the costs and risks are transferred at the same point. Like term in D are not proposed when the payment of the transaction is made through a documentary credit basically because the financial institution do not accept it.
Incoterm for any type of transport. Number 1. EXW. X works. The seller delivers the goods to the compactor at his own facilities, factory or warehouse, without loading them onto the vehicle truck that comes to pick them up or performing the export clearance. All export costs and risks are assumed by the buyer. Number 2. FCA. Free carrier. The seller delivers the goods at the grid place to the carrier named by the buyer. The place of delivery determines the obligation of loading and unloading on the first means of transport. If the delivery is made at the seller's premises, the seller is responsible for loading. If the delivery is made at another place, normally a transport center or infrastructure, the buyer is responsible for unloading. Export clearance is carried out by the seller. CPT. Carriage paid to. The seller hires and pays the transport to the agreed place of delivery in the buyer's country. The transport rate is transferred when the goods are delivered to the first carrier in the chain. The seller clears the goods for export. And number 4, CIP, carriage and insurance paid to. This Incoterm implies the same obligation for the seller as the CPT Incoterm, and in addition, the seller has to take out transport insurance allowed. He is only obliged to take out insurance with minimum coverage. Number 5. DIT, deliver at terminal. The seller delivers the goods unloaded at a place in the country of destination that is a terminal or transport infrastructure, port, seaport, etc. The transport risk is transferred at the time of delivery in the country of destination. The export customs clearance is done by the seller and the import customs clearance is done by the buyer. Number 6. DIP. Delivery at place. The seller delivers the goods prepared for lodging at a place in the country of destination. That is not a terminal or transport infrastructure. The risk is transferred at the time of delivery in the country of destination. The export customs clearance is performed by the seller and the import customs clearance is performed by the buyer.
Incoterms for any type of transport. 7. TDP. Deliver duty paid. The seller delivers the goods prepared for unloading at a place in the country of destination, normally the facilities, factory or warehouse of the buyer. All costs and risks, including export and import, custom clearance, are borne by the seller. A. FAX. Free alongside ship. The seller delivers the goods placed alongside the ship at the designated port of shipment. From this moment, all costs and risks are for the account of the buyer. The export customs clearance is done by the seller. 9. FOB. Free on board. The seller delivers the goods on board the ship at the named port of shipment. The buyer chooses the ship and pays the freight. The risk is transferred when the goods are delivered on board the ship. The seller clears the goods for export. 10. CFR costs and freight. The seller assumes the transport costs freight to the designated port of destination. Although the risk of loss or damage to the goods is transferred from seller to buyer once the goods have been placed on board the ship and the port of shipment. The seller clears the goods for export. 11. CEF costs, insurance, and freight. This encounters implies the same obligations for the seller as the encounter CFR, and in addition, the seller has to take of transport insurance, although he is only obligated to take of insurance with minimum coverage.